All right. So for the benefit of the recording, I am going to back up just one slide and bear with me. There we go. All right. So here's the agenda and then economic opportunity. So as I was saying, the Democrats really believe in economic opportunity for everyone, not just people who were born rich to begin with. Or luck into it somehow, but like everybody deserves to have opportunities to have prosperity. And Republicans drive up the deficit and they give money to the wealthy and take it out of the pockets of the middle class and now the poor. They're really going after poor people. And so really being a Democrat means that we want everyone to have that opportunity for economic success. Access to healthcare, very important. Really, everybody deserves healthcare, separate from insurance or any of the mechanisms that get us there. Everyone deserves that healthcare. And that absolutely includes access to reproductive healthcare. And access to education is very important. We need to educate our kids and provide education, really up into college and everything, making that as affordable as possible. And this is how we maintain a good democracy, is by having people who have been taught how to think and apply reasoning. And so that's critical. These are not everything that the Democrats stand for. We picked kind of three things. There's a lengthy platform that you can read from the state party, and there's a link to it on the Jeffco Dems website. But this is kind of the top three things that we really want to focus on. So let's talk about the party structure a little bit because it can be a little confusing. So we start with the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. They are above all. They are the driving body. And any rules or processes or things that we do, particularly once we get to like the presidential election, that is all driven by the DNC. And they give that direction through the Colorado Democratic Party, which also applies rules, but they support the counties as well. There's a whole lot of work that has to be done in the odd numbered years around reorg and in the even numbered years around caucus and assembly, like what we're going to be talking about. And implementing that on a statewide basis is a ton of work. And so the Colorado Democratic Party facilitates all of that. And these other districts, depending on their leadership and their resources, sometimes they need more or less from the state party. And the state party is pretty good about providing information, but also letting people who know what they're doing do what they need to do. So below the state party are the judicial districts, the congressional districts, and really it's also these multi-county districts. And I'm just going to very briefly touch on that. So there are state Senate and state House districts that are solely within one county. So in Jefferson County, that would be House District 23, House District 25, House District 27, House District 28, and House District 30. And then there are two Senate districts that are wholly within Jefferson County, Senate District 20 and Senate District 22. All the rest of the districts are multi-county, which means that some of the district is in Jeffco, but some of it is in another county. And for all organizational purposes, these are treated kind of differently. So if you know your Senate and House district, then you can find out if it's multi-county or single county. And that will become abundantly clear once you start going through the caucus and assembly process. So just going back to the org chart here, there are judicial districts and congressional districts. And then there's us, the County Democratic Party. And for the single county districts and also working in conjunction with the multi-county Senate and House districts, we organize around them, and we really do it through the House district. And there are 7 major House districts within Jefferson County. And House districts have captains. And they also have precinct organizers. We're going to talk more about precinct organizers, but the important thing about captains is that they are a layer of leadership in between the House district and the precinct organizers. House districts can have, 40, 50 precincts. And so it's very hard for just 4 officers to manage all of those precinct organizers. So we have these captains that serve as additional leadership that take on a group of precincts that they manage. Okay. So what is a precinct organizer? So you might hear us talking about these a lot. You might be a precinct organizer. You might be interested in being a precinct organizer, but really they are a representative of the party within the precinct. So kind of like your House district representative represents the House district, the precinct organizer represents the precinct. So it's an elected position. They are elected at caucus, which is coming up in March of 2026. But in between caucuses, they can be appointed. So many of you might have been appointed, or if you want to become a precinct organizer now, you don't have to wait till caucus. I can appoint you. But everyone who's a precinct organizer right now, whether they were elected or appointed, has to run again in March. We all of the terms end, and everybody who wants to be a precinct organizer has to run at caucus. Rights and responsibilities of a precinct organizer. We have central committee meetings 2, 3 times a year, and it is really, really appreciated if people attend those. But if you cannot attend, if you can send us a proxy and we make that very, very easy, then at least we can make quorum. It's very important that we make quorum or we can't conduct business. So we require a little bit of attention to the meetings, but if you can't make it, you can't make it, and we've got a solution for that with a proxy. It's really helpful if you can recruit your neighbors within your precinct to help you with volunteering. And the real work there is going to be literature dropping and phone banking. That's the real work we do around getting out the vote and getting the information about our party slate out to the voters, and really targeting good Democrats that we believe just need a little nudge to vote our way and to get their ballots in. But that work of delivering that literature throughout a whole precinct, if you can get a couple of volunteers, that just makes it a whole lot easier. And this is not something any PO has to do on their own. There are captains, there are House district officers that are going to mentor you and support you and just generally provide leadership. If you are a precinct organizer, you are expected to support all nominees of the party. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go out and walk for every single person, and you don't have to support them all equally. But if somebody asks you who the Democrats are, you mention them all. So that is an expectation that you are representing the party, and the party determines its candidates, and then you support them. And just to say that financial contributions are never required. You never have to spend money to be a part of the Democratic Party. We do have fundraisers, we do have happy hours where you might have to buy your own drink, but you certainly never have to give to a campaign, and you never have to give to us, which doesn't mean I'm not going to ask you to, but you're not required to. All right, so every conversation you have counts. And we're going to talk about canvassing in a few minutes, but really, you talk to people all the time, right? At the grocery store, at the park, your hairdresser, whoever it is, you are having conversations. And the more that you can spread good feelings about the Democratic Party or your candidates in particular, it's all about connecting with people on an emotional level. So one of the things I really want to emphasize is that when you're talking to people, talk about values, not policy. And there's lots and lots of examples. The one I chose here, because housing is so important this year with all of our city council people. Every city is facing a housing crisis. Um, and if you talk about we need more affordable housing, that kind of triggers some people. that the people aren't happy with development, or they think it attracts a bad element. Affordable housing just has a lot of baggage with it. But if you talk about how everyone deserves a roof over their head, that's just a value. That's just saying, like, people deserve to be housed. And so it's much easier for people to connect with your values and to connect on an emotional level. Once you start talking policy, you're trying to appeal to people's brains, and people votes with their hearts, not their brains. And that's just very important to keep all that in mind. And I know Eric's going to talk a lot more about that, but that's Catherine's 2 cents. So how do you support campaigns? Postcard writing is pretty much wrapped up for this year, but we'll be doing a lot of it next year. Dropping literature, we're not really doing that this year. That's more of an even numbered year thing. We will be making phone calls if that's your thing. We will have easy to use phone banks that you can connect to right through the internet. And then knocking on doors, which is super critical. We're going to talk about that. You can attend events, all kinds of events, from our monthly happy hour, liberal libations, to the events that your House district is holding, events that your candidates are holding, like anything you can go to. And even things like, if you have an interest in local government, go to your city council meetings. If you intend to ever run for office, go to these meetings, find out what governing really looks like. It's very educational. And if you're really courageous, speak up for our progressive values, because you will see that the people who are attending these things, they're very negative and they're not our people. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, you can give money, not required, but if you're in a situation where you can't do any of these other things for whatever reason, you don't want to, or you're physically unable to, but you've got some resources financially, it is great to give money to these candidates, and they can be very small donations, 5, $10. It's all appreciated. And if you can set something up monthly with them, so it's a really low impact on you, that's great too. And all of the candidates and the Jeffco Dems as well have opportunities to become a monthly donor. And then there are things you can do on social media. Try to post positive comments when you see something from a legislator or a candidate. Don't ever argue with people on social media. Keep it positive. Give it a like, give it a heart. All of that boosts the candidate's visibility. If you're doing nothing else but you sit on Facebook all day, you can still be helping. All right, now we're going to talk about caucus and assembly, and this is a very busy slide. But basically, caucus is going to be March 7th. It's going to start at 10 a.m. It could be a couple hours. I didn't put an end time because it just depends on how quickly you get through things. And we really do 2 things at caucus. We elect our precinct organizers. Like I said, everybody has to run. And then we also elect delegates to the county assembly. Now, in Jefferson County, what we have chosen to do is not have any limit on the number of delegates that go from the caucus to the county. So if you go to caucus and you say on the form, yes, I want to be a delegate to the county assembly, then poof, you will become a delegate. Then we will hold the county assembly on March 14th, again at 10 a.m. This is really going to go till at least 1. And for some people, it's going to be 2. So this is a big commitment. It's 2 weeks in a row of Saturdays, and that's just to get through caucus and assembly. So keep that in mind, mark your calendars. I will say that these dates have to be approved by the Jefferson County Democratic Party Central Committee. So these are not set in stone, but I think they're pretty likely to happen. So at the county assembly, we will nominate single county candidates. So that includes all of our countywide candidates, and there will be 6 of them. I'm not going to rattle them off, but we will have 6 countywide candidates that we have to nominate, and that's going to take a little bit of time all by itself. And then we split out into the single county House districts and do a nomination there. And that's a true nomination. If it's a single county, then your House district rep, your Senate district reps, all of them get nominated. at the single county assembly. If there's a multi-county assembly, which would include things like the congressional districts, Brittany Pedersen, Jason Crow, as well as, House District 24, Senate District 19, all the other multi-counties, those have subsequent assemblies. And so what we do is this whittling down process where we elect delegates to the multi-county districts. And then we also elect delegates to the state assembly. So if you're thinking you want to participate in all this, there's a lot of steps and it's a lot of meetings. We will then have a subsequent meeting, and it's not clear when those are going to happen, but sometime in March or early April, we will nominate candidates for the multi-county districts. And then we will elect delegates to the state assembly. This should say, I am terrible. I should have changed this. Don't read this elect delegates. That's wrong. We will be nominating candidates to the statewide offices, which I'm sure you're hearing about, things like governor and attorney general. All of those candidates, if they're going to be on the primary ballot, they will have to get there through the state assembly. And if you want a voice in those statewide candidates, then you need to attend that. That'll be March 28th. It is in Pueblo. It is in person. All the Jeffco stuff is virtual, and I believe all the multi-county stuff is going to be virtual, but the state assembly is in person on March 28th in Pueblo. So mark your calendars because you're going to have to drive out there. We're talking about maybe putting together some buses and stuff to cart people up to Pueblo. Might be fun. So if a candidate makes threshold, and I'm not going to go into all those details, but somehow candidates get through this whole process, then they go on to the primary. And that's an election that it will be held in June. And everyone gets to vote in it. Democrats can vote for Democrats, Republicans can vote for Republicans, unaffiliateds can pick if they want to vote as a Democrat or as a Republican. So lots and lots of votes. Primaries are, can be brutal, they can be friendly, but there will be a primary, and then of course on to the general election in November of 2026. All right, so before we hear from Eric, I'm going to stop sharing and just see if there are any quick questions. I know I covered a lot there. Maybe you all already do that.
Can you put that previous slide back up with the dates?
Yes, ma'am. Is that helpful, Evie?
Yes, thank you. Want to make sure they're on my calendar.
Yes, yes, yes. And lots more information to come. None of this is going to be a secret. Let me stop sharing because that's super distracting. Okay. So thank you. We will now, I'm going to introduce Eric Proctor. So Eric comes to us from Oklahoma, although he grew up, I believe, in Colorado. And he has run many campaigns, run in many elections and been elected many times. He has quite the background. And Eric, I'd love to let you talk a little bit more about how you come to us and all the experience you bring. And he is currently running to be our Jefferson County treasurer, which is super exciting. The most important thing we can be doing right now is knocking on doors and talking to our neighbors. And I know that can be scary, and a lot of people just dismiss it out of hand and say, there's no way I could ever do that. And I want you to open your minds just a little bit. It really is not that scary. If it's done right, it's really, really a positive experience. And it is absolutely how we win. So I am now going to turn it over to Eric, who's going to tell you so much more.
Thank you, Catherine. Well, good morning, Democrats, and thank you for joining us here on Second Saturday. Over the past 2 decades, I have ran myself in 6 different elections, canvassed approximately 50,000 doors, helped scores of candidates, ran a consulting firm for candidates for 13 years. And so I'm very passionate about canvassing and about making a personal touch and a personal communication and a connection with voters, because it is really the front line of American politics, and it is the bloodline for campaigns. Catherine asked me to give a quick 5-minute overview of what I have learned, any advice and tips, and that I have learned over the years. I'm grateful to for the opportunity to reach out to each of you, and for all of it you do, because you are really in the trenches on strengthening our local party and our state party, and in effect the entire country, because it starts right here in meetings like this. There is nothing more vital to winning elections than a personal connection with a voter and a personal ask of a voter. This is all about making that connection with an individual and leaving a positive impression. Targeting specific voters to maximize time. So we don't want to be knocking every single door. You want to be using the technology that the party has available through the voter file, through the van, to target specific voters. And that can be any wide range of criteria: active voters, voters who are engaging on specific issues, people who vote in municipal elections, if it's a city council or a school board or a mayoral race. Your time is valuable. That's the one thing that you can't get more of. So use your time wisely. A good tip to start: know your route. So review the neighborhood map. Some neighborhoods are a lot more difficult, and they're not on a grid, and one street can, as it turns, can become a different name, and it gets really confusing. So have a map with you. You'll have a map on your van, but review it before you go as best you can. Take a few minutes to acclimate yourself to the canvassing map of the neighborhood. So this is more for the candidates, but if possible, if you have the resources, it's helpful to send a small postcard into the neighborhood, into the precinct that you're knocking, saying that you're going to be in the neighborhood over the next few days. That's important for really 3 reasons. One, it helps open the door to you or your volunteers and facilitates the conversation with the voter. When I was canvassing for my own campaigns, we would send out a postcard, and I would say, we're going to be in the neighborhood. And when I would knock on the door, they'd say, "Hey, I got your postcard. Thanks for letting me know. I was looking forward, hoping I get to visit with you." So it's helpful. Secondly, I know for me, it made me actually go knock the neighborhood. So if I told people I was going to be there, I couldn't get lackadaisical and couldn't put it off and couldn't procrastinate. I actually had to go knock that specific neighborhood in that time frame. And lastly, it's just another contact with the voter. Every campaign is successful or not successful based on the amount of touches or contacts that you get with voters. So it's just one more. It's a cheap way. If you're doing a postcard stamp and doing bulk mail, you can do a micro mailer of 150, 200 into that neighborhood and get an extra contact. The next thing, dress like someone voters would want to talk to. Wear a polo or a office style shirt or a campaign t-shirt with a campaign sticker. That's something that identifies you as being with the campaign. So if you are the volunteer, I know there's a lot of candidates on here on the call today, but if you're a volunteer and not the candidate, you're probably going to have a very limited amount of time with that voter. In most cases, it's 15, 20, 25 seconds. So be friendly and personal. Introduce yourself in the campaign you're working for. So if I were knocking a door, as I'm going to be in my state House District 28, "Hi, my name is Eric. I'm a friend of Dave Rain, who is running to be our state representative. I'm dropping off some information on his positions and would greatly appreciate your consideration and your vote for Dave." But let them know you have a connection with the candidate. You're their friend. You're their, if you're related, this is my brother, this is my sister, this is my aunt, this is my mom, this is my neighbor. Something that gives you a personal connection with that candidate is helpful. Direct them to the issue points on the walk card and the website, ways that they can contact the candidate. So the most important thing you can do during that 15 to 25 seconds that you've got is say the candidate's name. It's just one more contact, one more verbal way that they can recognize and hear that candidate's name. So hopefully when they get to the ballot, they're checking our candidates' boxes. Listen carefully and ask what their most important issues are depending on the race, if it's state government or city government or national government, and ask open-ended questions. Ask about the voters' opinions and what issues are most important to them. What issues are most important to you in the city of Lakewood? What issues are the most important to you in the city of Westminster? What issues are the most important to you that you're hearing about being addressed at the Capitol? And try to relate. So if someone says, I'm most passionate about education, I would say, as a father, I certainly agree that we need to invest in education. It's why I'm passionate about this election, why I'm here talking with you today. Or if you're visiting with someone and they say, crime is a big issue for them, or public safety is a big issue for them, you say, as a fellow citizen of Westminster, I certainly agree we need a stronger focus on public safety, and so does Claire. And that's the main focus of our campaign for mayor, one of the main focuses. Always thank the voter for taking time to visit with you. Regardless of how long it is, thank them for the time, thank them for answering the door. So if they ask questions or seem open to a conversation, provide basic information about the campaign, such as the candidate's background, policy positions, and platform. If you are asked a question that you don't know the answer to, that's 100% okay. For example, if I were knocking doors in House District 28 and someone said, what's Dave Rain's stance on the Bear Creek Lake Park? I would say, that's an important issue. I know we live in the area. I know I've heard that from a lot of folks. Would it be okay if Dave contacts you directly to let you know his position? Get their contact information and let the candidate visit with them on an issue. Now, there's going to be issues we're going to know where the candidate stands, whether it's women's rights or access to healthcare or funding education. We know where they're at. But if it's a side issue that you're not aware of, it's okay to say that you don't know and put them in touch with the candidate. So here's a good tip. If you're knocking a Democratic door or an unaffiliated voter's door with a high Democratic voting score, you can amend your opening statement. Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm a friend of Dave Rain. He's our Democratic candidate for state representative. So you're identifying him as the Democrat, and that's going to help you get a kind of a foot in with those folks. If you're knocking your own neighborhood, hi, my name is Eric. My family and I live a couple blocks from you. I'm here because I'm a friend of Sheila Leaders, who's running to be our state senator. You're connecting with them. You know that you're invested in the same way they are. You live down the street. Watch for nonverbal cues. Maintain good eye contact with the voter. Keep your tone approachable. I always tell candidates, be brief, be attentive, and be genuine. Brief, attentive, and genuine. If the voter is going to commit to vote for your candidate, or if you feel the conversation is going well, this is a good way, specifically, especially for candidates, but also for volunteers, to ask for a sign. How I phrase it is, would it be okay if I placed a small sign in the corner of your yard? That's less intrusive, and that phrasing tends to be more likely to obtain a positive response. Be observant. If the home you're knocking has a rosary on the door, or a Marine Corps sticker on the car, or a sign that says a Golden High School football player lives here, if there's children's toys in the yard or a bike in the yard, it can all help you to know what issues to specifically focus on. So if there's a lot of kids' toys in the yards, hey, I'm here for my friend Dave Rain. He's very passionate about public education. That's why he's running for the State House of Representatives. You can kind of get ideas of what issues are going to be important to them by the clues that you're when you're walking up to the door. One thing that I really like to do, if you're going up to a door and someone really takes care of their yard, if they've got plants, if they've got flowers, if there's artwork in the yard, say, hey, you know what? I wish I could do that in my yard. You've done a great job. Those flowers are phenomenal. That artwork's really cool. I wish I could find something like that. I've been looking for that. Make some type of a connection. They take pride in their yard. A, they're probably definitely voting, but B, that's going to stick with them. It's going to separate you from folks that won't do that. Next thing to be aware of, a lot of folks aren't going to be home, and that's okay. If you knock on a door and there's no answer, have some post-it notes with you and write, sorry, I missed you on the post-it note, or sorry, we missed you, and place it on the door with the walk card. You can write it on the card if there's room. If you're hitting 25 to 30% of folks at home, you're doing really well. So don't be discouraged if you're not seeing a lot of folks at home. One of the most important things, take really good notes, both in the van or handwritten, however you're doing it. Take really good notes that are going to help yourself or the candidate, especially on that voter's top issue. This can be given to the candidate as a follow-up conversation. They can do a follow-up postcard, or you can, Mrs. Smith, thank you for visiting with me about access to healthcare in Colorado. We'd be grateful to have your vote in November for your candidate, and then list your candidate's name. Just something that's going to differentiate you again from the other candidates, the other campaigns, and one more contact. Or if you liked their flowers, thank you for taking your time. Your flowers were beautiful. You're beautiful. It would be great to have your vote. Something that's going to separate you out. So prepare yourself for positive and negative responses. Not everyone is going to want to have you at their door. So have a statement ready. If it's just shut off, or if it's a negative, just, hey, thank you, have a good day. Just leaving some information on a candidate. Just be prepared in your mind what those statements are going to be. Or somebody may come up to the door and say, hey, I'm cooking dinner. Hey, I've got my kids. Just have an answer prepared in your head. So the next point is a personal preference, and some may disagree with me, and that's okay. But if you are not the candidate and a door says no soliciting, personally, I would not knock on the door. I would just leave the card. Do not place the walk card in a mailbox. That's not legal. But if you are the candidate, you have more of an opportunity towards success in that instance. And in a lot of places, maybe every third door says no soliciting. So you've got to make those contacts. You can't just skip a third of the people. So to use your best judgment. Next point, stay safe. Drink a lot of water. Have plenty of water with you. Don't canvass after dark. Do not canvass during a Broncos game. You're going to tick people off. You're probably okay to canvass during the Rockies game because nobody's watching. Except for me, because I'm a diehard 30-year Rockies fan. But so canvass in pairs where possible. If you can have someone go with you, keep your phone charged. I would not ever go inside a voter's home. Be safe. Have periodic check-ins. I know Tammy Story did a really good job when I knocked doors with her last cycle. There were periodic check-ins directly with her. So when that way you're making sure your volunteers are safe, or have a set time that you're going to communicate with them. Again, always say thank you for a voter's time. Our demeanor, our manners, and how we make that voter feel is a direct reflection on our, if you're the candidate, on you, but if you're not, on the candidates that we're working for. Don't continue a conversation that's going in circles or is negative. Time is the most valuable resource that you have in a campaign, and don't respond or engage to disrespectful comments. Try not to spend more than 2 to 3 minutes at a door. Someone may want to talk for 30 minutes, and instinctively we may want to have that good 30-minute conversation with a voter. But even if you have a good 30-minute conversation with a voter, that's probably costing you 10 to 12 other voter contacts. So try to keep it to that 2 to 3 minute range if possible. Lastly, and possibly most importantly, enjoy the time. Be confident, have a smile and a pleasant demeanor. You're canvassing because you believe in our values, and you believe that our values, when it's implemented into policy, can make life better for all of our neighbors. So be passionate, be happy. It's not an easy thing that you're doing, but it's a very valuable thing and an extremely important thing that you do. So for all of you that are running for office, thank you. For all of you that are on the front lines of protecting our republic by knocking doors and canvassing, thank you. And I'll make sure that you have my contact, ways that you can reach me if you have any questions or if I can help you. I know I'm going to be out this fall knocking doors for Claire up in Westminster, and would encourage as many of you to do that as well. But thank you for your time, and look forward to working with each of you to strengthen our party and make our community a better place.
Thank you so much, Eric. What great advice, and what a great background. I just wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, people vote with their hearts, not their heads. I was taught this in the very first training I went to. So that kind of goes back to the don't talk policy, talk values. That connection that Eric's talking about. It doesn't matter how you make the connection, because it's all about how you make them feel. And people are going to remember that. So what I say is, they will forget everything you say. Like all the stuff you say about this is what the candidate supports and this is how they feel. They're going to forget all of that. But if they felt heard, if they felt warm and fuzzy when you walked away, that's what gets you the vote. So, I just want to do a couple other things, and one of them is I hope I don't upset anyone with this, but I am going to call attention to Claire Carmelia's race in Westminster for mayor. And the reason I'm singling her out is that she is the only person, as of my knowledge of today, anyone where in Jefferson County that is actually running against a Republican. There are some unaffiliated candidates in some city council races. We've got places where more than one Democrat is running, but not very many. Really, the race that we need to win this year is the mayor's race in Westminster for Claire Carmelia. And I am going to grab her website where you can sign up to volunteer. And I don't have that handy, but I can find it really fast because I'm good at Google. And Claire for Westminster. She's got a great website. Like I said, you can sign up to volunteer. Highly recommend that. Even just go and learn more about her and why she's so important. So there is her website. And, you know, it's very expensive. Westminster is very big. So please, please, please consider donating. If you don't live near Westminster, if you just don't canvass, $5. Give her $5. That would be awesome. 25, 100, even better. But even if you can only give 5, we would really appreciate that. And while you're spending money, I want to make my pitch. So the Jeffco Dems operate an office, and Zoom is not free. And the tools that we use for sending out our emails and just all the little things we do that keep the organization running. The website obviously costs money. We do a lot, and we try to be really good stewards of your money. I've got our treasurer on the line right now. He has been really great, and we actually publish our financials daily. And so we are very, very transparent. We are always current, and we are really working towards electing Democrats. We're very focused on that mission. That is our mission. It's a simple mission, and that's what we're here to do. So if you would be so kind as to make a donation to the Jeffco Dems, consider becoming a monthly donor. That $5 a month goes a really, really long way. If you don't have a lot of money, but you can find $5 a month, that would be great. 10 would be great too. Just a note that the monthly donors, we call them Blue Beacons, you get a 10% discount on fundraisers. We've got the Eleanor Roosevelt dinner coming up. Early bird tickets are $175. So that's $17.50 that you save if you're a monthly donor, which, you know, if you're only giving $5 a month, it's like, gosh, you know, that's 3 months that you just covered right there. So please consider that. Please make a donation. Really appreciate it. And so now we are going to move on to the time when we hear from our candidates and electeds, and we're going to start with the electeds. And the only way I know to manage this, guys, is to go down the list of participants, which is alphabetical by first name. So I am going to ask everyone to go on mute, just because that messes with my list if you're not. Okay, so if you are both an elected and a candidate, I'm going to call on you at the candidate portion. You only get to talk once. You will have 2 minutes. There will be a timer. Please respect the timer. It's important that you can get your message out in 2 minutes, and this is good practice. So we will start with, what have we got? I am seeing a lot of candidates and not a lot of electeds. Tammy Story. I don't think Tammy is officially a candidate yet. So Representative Tammy Story, you've got 2 minutes. We'd love to hear from you.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see so many of you on a Saturday morning. I feel like it's been a little while since I've connected with the Second Saturday breakfast group, partly because of session, because it gets so busy, and then I've been traveling a bit and taking a little bit of time off. And anyway, currently, we are getting ready for a special session. If you haven't heard, the call went out this past week from the governor because we will be focusing on elements of HR 1, the Republican GOP bill that passed at the federal level that is going to be so detrimental to all of our states, particularly in the healthcare realm with Medicaid, cuts to Medicaid and more requirements, as well as SNAP, our food stamps program, food assistance program for people who need that. There are cuts to SNAP as well as additional work requirements. And all of this is going to make these efforts to stay on these programs more complex, and in great likelihood, many people won't meet the criteria or won't meet the registration deadlines and will get kicked out of the program. It's going to be highly detrimental to hundreds of thousands of people in Colorado. And so we will be having a special session starting August 21st. It's just less than 2 weeks away. Starts on a Thursday, and we don't have an end date, but it does require at least 3 days to pass bills through. So, and we are anticipating working through that weekend. So there's a lot of work and scurrying around right now as we work on policy that falls within the call, the specificity of the call, to ensure that we can do what we can in the state of Colorado to help access to healthcare and food assistance and several other items on the list as well. So good to see you all.
Thank you. I debate, should I leave the music, not have the music? Don't mean to be rude, but thank you, Representative Story. That was very succinct. Great job. I will stop the timer. I'm just learning the timer, guys, so bear with me. All right, going back to the participants and see if we have any other elections. And Representative Story, you know, whenever you're ready to tell us if you're going to run again, you let us all know. Okay.
I will say that I am seriously contemplating it, which is what you have to say unless you have filed. So there you go.
There you go. Okay. I do not believe I have anyone else on who is an elected but not a candidate. And so now I am going to go again alphabetically by first name. And so the first person who is both an elected and a candidate. So you got 2 minutes. You can take one for each or however you want to do it, but it is Danielle Varda. And take it away.
Hi, I am not going to be on video. This is Danielle Varda. I am at the Wheat Ridge Carnation Parade, which is probably what you hear in the background, unfortunately. I am a longtime resident of Arvada, currently Jeffco School Board Director, and also running for House District 27, which is Brianna Titone's seat. She is term limited, and I'm really excited to be working really hard to win that seat. I have a couple of really important priorities. Of course, schools and school finance is something that I'm really interested in. I believe in protecting immigrant rights and very, very focused on systems of care for people across all of our sectors. I've been a business owner. I own 2 businesses in Arvada. I'm a mom of 3 girls who are in the schools. And I've been a professor at the University of Colorado, Denver in the School of Public Affairs for 15 years. So I've worked across many different sectors. And I'm just really excited to bring that experience to the House now. Working as an elected for the last 4 years has taught me so much, but I'm a collaborative person who is wanting to work with people across the aisle to just really build great policy for people in Colorado. So thank you for letting me come on today. I would turn my video on if you all want to see the parade. It's absolutely lovely, but as usual, I'm here with my daughter who's a Westonaire, and they are riding it today. So thank you, Catherine. I'm gonna go off mute. Good to see everyone today. Oh, sorry, Catherine, one last thing. I'm excited to see our school board candidates all finally filing And I know Michael Yoakum is running for my seat here in District 1. So just want to shout out, thank you for filing, to all the candidates who are stepping up to do that as well. So just a thank you for running.
Thank you, Danielle. And it's I don't have your website handy, but she's really easy to find. It's a unique name, Danielle Varda, and you can learn how to support her. Okay, back to participants. And the next person is Eric Proctor, who we already heard from. But Eric, let's hear 2 minutes on why you're running for treasurer.
Well, if you haven't already heard enough from me today, I'm running to be a progressive county treasurer that implements our democratic values, leads with a progressive heart. My slogan of the campaign is I'm a community banker with a progressive heart. In my career as a banker, I've seen how access to capital can change lives, how it can make access to the American dream easier for folks and ensure our economy works for working families. The Office of County Treasurer can and should be utilized to ensure we're creating a better world for all of our children, where they can have access to making their own dreams a reality. We can obtain a solid return for taxpayers on the investment of their funds without compromising our values as progressives, and while encouraging progressive policies be implemented by financial institutions who seek our public deposits. During this cycle, I'm looking forward to sharing my vision with this race for you, and to hopefully knocking doors and canvassing with you for other candidates in the process. But if you ever want to have a cup of coffee and hear more about my vision, or sit down and have a more extended conversation, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm an open door. I've got my contact that's already in, and I'll do one more here in just a moment. But just excited to for the opportunity to earn the nomination of our party to represent us on the ballot for the Office of County Treasurer. Thank you.
Awesome. Eric did it great. 45 seconds to spare. That's great when you can keep your speech to 90 seconds. That's even better than 2 minutes. Okay, sorry, back to participants. And next is Claire, who is also both an elected and a candidate. So Claire, you've got 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to use the majority of my 2 minutes for my campaign, as that is very hot in the fire right now, as you know. First, thank you, Catherine, for all your work and for helping encourage folks to get out the vote for this campaign, because it is a very tough one right now. And thank you, Eric, for all of your advice. I am taking notes. I can't be on camera as I am driving to canvass right now, and I will be canvassing all day today and every weekend up until the election. So there are lots of opportunities for you to join. I will say, if you do care and value and believe that everyone deserves a roof over their head, and if you do believe that we should be protecting our immigrant neighbors, and if you do believe that we should be helping find them jobs instead of criminalizing them, and if you do believe that we should not be criminalizing our unhoused neighbors, and that we should be finding them opportunity and to contribute to our society and be a contributing member and tax-paying member, because overall, not only does it benefit them, it benefits us all as a society to ensure that they end up being a whole person and not putting them into the system, which often creates criminals in the process, but it also costs taxpayers more. And I just want to say that I strongly believe that we should be giving people opportunity. That's where my story began. I am from an unhoused family, and I was provided opportunity to get myself to school. And that opportunity for public education has provided me the ability to be where I am today and to contribute. And I really do believe strongly that I owe that debt back to society, and I'm doing everything I can to help others in the process and lift them up and protect them. And when I say that there's a lot at risk with this campaign, the reason I'm running is not just because I'm up against Republicans, which is true, but these are two people that would genuinely put all the folks that I just named at very real, serious risk. These are both far right extremists. And I have very narrowly already 3 times now in my time in office voted down to not criminalize many of these folks. And just know, so that is something that comes up on the dais. And so again, like Catherine said, I do invite you to be present. Please attend your city hall. You need to know what it is that we're talking about. It's very, very important. And I really could use all of your help. $20 goes a really long way right now. I have to say, I can really use the donations. If you can text a friend or a neighbor that this campaign matters, it would mean the world to me. And if you're able to come out, I have a calendar on my website of canvassing every Friday at 4, every Saturday at 10 and 4, every Sunday at 4. And then some folks are just taking turf and going all throughout the week. And so I need all hands on deck. Thank you both so much. Appreciate you.
All right. I know I'm playing favorites with Claire and let her go. 45 seconds over.
Apologies.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So who is next? I'm looking. Mary Parker, another both elected and candidate. Mary, you got 2 minutes.
Thank you, Catherine. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Parker, and I currently serve as president of the Jeffco School Board. I'm running for re-election because I'm very proud of the work that the district has done. For instance, over the last 4 years, we've been able to increase employee compensation by more than 30%. We've standardized literacy and math curricula, and we've changed start and end times to better align with the research science on the adolescent brain. And we also made some very hard decisions. For instance, closing 21 schools where enrollment was so low that the students there were not getting the same educational experience as their peers in the better resourced schools. Jeffco's been experiencing declining enrollment since 2001, but this issue was kicked down the road year after year. One reason for that is that we had 6 different superintendents in a period of 7 years. And you add to that the fact that the nature of school boards is that the board composition changes every 2 years. And some years, like this year, the board majority may very well be made up of 3 new board members who will face a very steep learning curve before they're able to understand enough about how the district is run to make good, informed decisions. So given the challenges that we're facing these days, I think it's more important than ever to have an experienced board majority. And I'd like you to know that in lieu of contributions to my campaign, I'm asking people to donate to the Jefferson Schools Foundation. Given the dire need for K-12 funding, I find it extremely discouraging to know that tens of thousands of dollars, some of it special interest money, will be going to school board elections, not to our classrooms. So you can donate to the Jefferson Schools Foundation through my website, which is maryparkerforjeffco.com, and I hope that you will support me in my reelection. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn off the timer so you don't have to hear the music because you came in under time. Okay. Next is Nicole Hensel.
Awesome. Thank you, Catherine. Can you hear me all right?
I can.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to keep my camera off because my service is a little spotty right now. But hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. My name is Nicole Hensel, and I'm running for Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder in 2026. It is great to see you all here today. I am running because I believe that our democracy is in crisis. And it's not just in crisis because we're seeing blatant attacks on voting rights or election denialism, but also because everyday people chose to stay at home last November instead of turning out, which means that a lot of people out there feel like democracy isn't working for them and that no one is fighting for them. And I'm running to change that. I'm running to make sure that we build a democracy that delivers for all people and to improve our government services so that people feel served and respected and welcome into our government halls. And so my campaign is really centered around 3 main pillars. One, making sure everyone's voice is represented in the democratic process, so that is continuing to run safe, secure, transparent elections and closing gaps in participation, especially among young people and people of color across Jefferson County. Number 2, I want to make sure that our government responds to people's needs, all of the government services that I oversee. I want to be a beacon of efficiency and accessibility so that people walk out of our government offices feeling served. And then finally, I want to contribute to the Democratic Party in this moment where we need a path forward. And I want to bring, fresh ideas and bold leadership, someone who's both a bridge builder and a fighter, so that I can work to help improve the party. I just wanted to let folks know I shared this on my newsletter last week, but there is going to be a National Day of Action in solidarity with the Texas legislators who are breaking quorum in order to fight back against the illegal mid-decade, redistricting that's happening in Texas right now. It's going to be on August 16th. I'll drop a link in the chat. I'm hoping to see a lot of events popping up all across the country so that we can stand in solidarity. Thank you so much.
All right. Good job, Nicole. Okay, I neglected Sharon Davis. Oh my gosh, how could I have done that? Sharon is not a candidate right now. She's an elected, so I should have done her way earlier. I apologize, Sharon, but you get 2 minutes too.
No apologies necessary. Hello, everyone. This is Sharon Davis. I'm coming to you from the basement in Arvada. I'm excited to see so many people participating today. As you know, we have just selected, or we selected, a new city manager here in Arvada. We went almost a year without a city manager, so we're very excited that Don Wick is now our city manager. And if that name sounds very familiar, that's because he was a former deputy city manager. He was also the department head for Public Works. And he was a former chief of police for Arvada. So he has a great history. So we look forward to wonderful things with him. Arvada, we're finally getting to a groundbreaking point for the 72nd underpass under the railroad. So that's very exciting. We're also looking to Mountain Rail, to maybe getting a stop here in Arvada. And of course, Quantum Commons. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that yesterday the Greater Arvada Chamber of Commerce had a presentation from the president of Red Rocks Community College, and then Tracy Dorland, the superintendent of Jefferson County Schools, regarding the future of education here in Jefferson County. And I do want to reflect upon what Mary said. We are going to be sorely underfunded, and career and technical education is going to take a big hit. So if you have a chance, I would encourage you to go to the Greater Arvada Chamber of Commerce and watch the YouTube video that was recorded on yesterday's meeting, and think about how we can bolster up our education, because education is the stepping stone to greater success. So we need to keep our children in mind and get them educated. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you, Counselor Davis. Okay. If there's any other electeds on who aren't candidates, by all means, raise your hand. Did not mean to miss anyone. Okay, going back to the list. Patrick Quinn, I believe, has just announced.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Yep. I decided to put my money where my mouth is, so to speak, and step up to the plate and run for Wheat Ridge City Council in District 3. And I'm here also. I'm not going to turn the camera on because we're walking in the Wheat Ridge Carnation Festival Parade. I'm here with Val Nosler, and we're going to walk. I'm going to walk with their group, and she's trying to save the Anderson Pool. We've got a lot of work we need to do, and we need to get some awareness for that. And all of a sudden, the marching band's about to go. Of course, when it's my turn. And Val is also running as a candidate for House District 23. And we're walking together, combining forces. And I'm hoping to bring or keep some good common sense policy at the city council level, where I think labor needs a really big seat at that table, because that's where all the jobs are awarded. And I really want to work on some best value contract metrics for the city. And I'd love to see not having contractors award or the awards going to contractors who sub to another sub to another sub, and everybody takes their 20% off the top, and the poor guys at the bottom are stuck with poor paying jobs that are sometimes really hard, and sometimes these contractors don't have really good safe working conditions. And so I want to make sure that those folks are protected. So I'm going to quit yakking because Val's probably next. So have a great day, and thanks everyone. And come to the Carnation Festival tonight. Anderson Park.
Thanks, Pat. So actually Val is not next because we're going alphabetically, but you stayed within your time. Ooh, don't listen to music. He was in time. Good job, Pat. Okay, going back to the list. Peter Gibbons. I think we're all excited to hear from you.
Morning, everybody. It's good being on a call with a bunch of Democrats. Really excited to be here, and I'm really excited to be running for Jefferson County School Board. I actually have a long history of being politically active, whether it was volunteering for candidates, canvassing, phone banking. I worked as a union organizer for several years, organizing public sector employees, both here in Colorado and in other states, everybody from Department of Revenue workers and DMV offices to teachers and staff in school districts. And I decided to run because, I was looking to get back into the fray. I was looking to get involved, wasn't sure quite how to do it. And then this opportunity presented itself. And my passion for public service and in particular, my passion for quality public education, this was really the right fit. As we all know, this is a really difficult time in our country. I definitely believe that the best way to preserve democracy is to participate in it as fully as possible, and this is my way of doing that. But also, we're going to face some challenges that are unique in public education. We've actually talked. We've got a special session that's about to happen to deal with some budget issues at the state level, and of course, this was caused by serious problems at Washington, and this is going to trickle down into our communities in the worst ways possible by forcing local governments and including that school districts to try to figure out how to come up with funding shortfalls. And unfortunately, our school districts really, in many places, are already underfunded to begin with. So that's really one of my big focuses is as we go through this moment, as we go through these challenges, these crises, to manage it as responsibly as possible. And in particular, as school districts have to find new ways to balance their budgets, I want to make sure that in Jeffco, we do that in a way that maximizes dollars going to classrooms where students are being educated, where students are receiving services, and that we minimize those cuts at the classroom level and find other ways to streamline operations and keep schools operating efficiently. And of course, there'll be any number of other challenges, whether it's fights about books in the library or Lord knows what we may have to deal with ICE or other agents like that. But I want to be part of that process and making sure we continue to have quality public schools in Jeffco. And I will put my website in the chat where people can click to donate and get involved in other ways. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and nice to meet you. Okay, so bear with me. All right, we have someone new, another new person to introduce to you. And this woman is running for county assessor, so it's a 2026 race, but she has just jumped in and I can't wait to hear about her background. So everyone welcome Sue Flagel.
Good morning, everyone. And as Catherine has said, I am new to this whole process, but I am not new to the whole Jefferson County assessors process. I have spent over 40 years in the real estate appraisal industry. I have been very instrumental in developing the models that are used to set property values. I understand the nuances of what property owners go through in terms of trying to understand how did we come up with that number? What's going on? And that is like the key to what people need to understand, that we try to be fair. We are trying to not overtax people. We want to make sure everyone is paying their fair share in property taxes. I don't do the taxes, I set the value, but it takes time to figure that out. I also am very involved in the technology side of our office. And so I understand the nuances of being able to make a computer system do what people are expecting to see. So I am in the process of still getting my website in place, and I'm excited to learning what it takes to be a candidate, because I've just been a public servant, but now I want to learn how to serve in a different way as the county assessor. Thank you.
All right. First speech, and you came in like less than 90 seconds. Great. Okay. It's like you've been to our trainings or something. Okay, I have to turn the timer off. All right. Nice to meet you, Sue. Well, we've met, but nice to have everyone else meet you. All right. Tina Moynihan. You are
Good
up.
morning, everybody. I'm so glad to be here and to announce that I'm running for Jefferson County School Board District seat 5. I am honored to be proudly endorsed by the Jefferson County Education Association, the JCEA. Thank you very much, Jeffco educators. The attacks on our institutions have been relentless since January, and we need strong leadership to support our district, its students, teachers, and staff. I want to stand up for what's right and build strong community around protecting public education. In terms of why I'm running, I want to advocate for equity and support for all. Every student, regardless of zip code or background, deserves access to a world-class education right here in Jeffco. I want to increase transparency and build community. The school board should be open and responsive. I pledge clear communication on how funds are being allocated and how decisions are being made. And I want to restore our trust in public education. I will prioritize policies that strengthen our public schools and ensure our educators are empowered and paid fairly. I would love to have any donations or your support, so I'm going to drop my website in the chat. So please join me in this race. And it's good to see you, Peter Gibbons and Michael Yoakum. Thank you.
All right. That was great. Tina coming in well under time. I think that was less than 90 seconds. Oh, I got to turn the timer off. Okay. I'm getting pretty good at this timer thing, let me tell you. All right. That is all, except to say that we have Tracy Kraft Tharp with us, and I want to give a shout out to Tracy because she is going to be receiving the Eleanor Roosevelt Award this year. And oh, she's raising her hand. Can I say nice things about you, or should I call on you right away, Tracy?
You can call on me right away. That's fine. I actually was going to ask if I could speak and just say thank you so much. I really appreciate Jeffco Dems recognizing me at the ER dinner. Yay! So I hope everybody comes to the dinner. The second thing I wanted, while I have the floor, Catherine, is if we could all unmute and wish Catherine Wallace a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Catherine Wallace.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Catherine.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday.
All right, thank you for not trying to all sing in unison because that would have been a disaster. I appreciate it. Yes, my birthday is tomorrow, and I am taking a day off from politics. Do not call me tomorrow. And I am going to drive to Breckenridge and have a lovely dinner with my husband at our favorite restaurant, Michael's. If you're ever in Breckenridge, Michael's, that's where you got to eat. Italian food, great stuff. I am going to drop one more link in the chat. This is where you can buy your tickets to the Eleanor Roosevelt dinner. Early bird tickets are on sale now. They are $175. So I think I'm now allowed to announce who our speaker is going to be. We're working on getting a bio nailed down with her staff, but it is going to be the Honorable Senator, U.S. Senator Elissa Slotkin. And if you don't know who she is, she was on Stephen Colbert recently. If you YouTube Stephen Colbert, Elissa Slotkin, and that's ELISSASLOTKIN. And if you YouTube that, you will see what an amazing woman she is. We are so honored to have her. So more details to come in email, but run out and buy your tickets. If you're a Blue Beacon monthly donor, and you can become a Blue Beacon like today, right now, and then go buy your discounted ticket right afterwards. So discounted tickets are $157.50. And I don't remember the date that early bird pricing ends. You do have a couple weeks at least before that happens. But then the price will go up. So get your tickets now. We are very flexible and accommodating in terms of where you sit. You can leave us notes about which table you want to sit at, who you want to sit with. We're going to do our very, very best to seat people where they want to be seated. If you want to buy a table, you can also do that at that link. So leave us copious notes, and it's going to be a buffet. There will be lots of gluten-free food. If you need a vegetarian meal, let us know. We'll get you something plated. It's going to be an amazing night. We will probably be hearing from a lot of impressive people because they're all running for office. So naturally, they're going to be there. And for an extra $50, you can get into the VIP room, where you can be with a select group of people and probably get pictures with Senator Slotkin and the other dignitaries that are going to be there. So consider that as well when you're buying your ticket. Okay, I think that concludes us. Hey, it's only 10:17. I'm going to stay on. I am going to turn the recording off for sure at this point. Stop recording.